this I will keep coming to. The signs of developing trance. The signs that you should be able to notice as soon as the trance starts to develop. The trance state starts to develop. Fixed gaze with defocused eyes and immobility. A person staring very intently at you, not blinking at all, or very rarely. And this immobility of the body is very obvious, very, very obvious indeed. As the trance state develops, so there is a flat, ironed out look to the face. It loses its tone. The breathing is much slower. Very often it's deeper than the normal state of the person. And when you're able to see a pulse beat, you'll notice a slower pulse. Lots of other things attached to developing trance state, but those are the obvious ones, the very, very obvious ones. And the person seems to be, and it really is, concentrating on you to quite a surprising extent. Allow that experience to come up into your consciousness once again. And sit there for a few moments, knowing that you're actually here now, with feelings of comfort and strength. And with those feelings of comfort and strength, let yourself, if you can see and hear and feel again what it was that happened to you in that past experience. There are additional things to be learned from the experience. And I'd like you to allow yourself the treat of seeing, hearing, feeling yourself go through it again, so that you can have new understandings and learnings which are embedded in that experience. Allow it to happen now. And when you've seen, heard, felt, something you believe to be of value to yourself, I'd like you to choose a specific situation that you know will occur before long, and then notice, again by watching and listening and feeling, how you can apply that new learning and that new understanding to the situation that is coming in the near future. I've talked quite a lot about resources and capabilities that are within you. In doing now what I'm asking you to do, you are making use of your own personal history. And you are transferring understandings and learnings from one part of your personal history into the future, so that you can increase your choices as a creative human being. Take all the time you need. You'll hear my voice again in the next minute or so. But know the experience. All right. Now, you may have a clear, good understanding of what you've succeeded in doing. Or you may simply have a sense of well-being, a feeling of having done something without understanding in detail what it was you were able to do. Now I'd like you to begin to drift back slowly, understanding that if you have completed the process to the best of your conscious understanding, that's fine. But if you haven't finished, you've set in motion a process which can be completed comfortably outside of your awareness as you return your attention to the here and now. Now, what experience were you aware of? What came into your conscious awareness? And what did I actually say? If you analyze things, I didn't really say anything, did I? I talked a lot and gave no real content. Just process. Content out. Sometime. To do something of value to yourself. Certain learnings, unconscious understanding from that specific experience in your past. None of those have any content. They're pure process instruction. And that is one way to tap. You can tap the resources and capabilities that are in all of us, that are in you. Always remember that every client coming to you has all the resources he needs to deal with his psychological problem. The trouble is that so often life itself, his experiences themselves have got in the way so that he cannot use those resources and capabilities. And remember that the client will access those resources more effectively by you using indirection than by you using direction. Indirect suggestion works by triggering off a process of psychological reappraisal, and this psychological reappraisal leaves the person with a richer model of the world and therefore more choices. With indirection you indicate, only indicate. The person fills in himself, herself. If I talk about a beach scene, if I say take yourself to a beach, can you see a beach? You see the beach in its entirety. You don't see first the sand, and then the sea, and then the sky, and then the clouds. You see it in its entirety. The less you say, the more the person has to fill in. And there are ways of getting, or of allowing the person to fill in so that he gains therapeutically. One of the early exercises was the relaxation method. And I want you to know that hypnosis is not really a form of relaxation. Relaxation can be part of it, but it's not necessary. A relaxation method has great limitations, but nevertheless, it can be a good idea to include the idea of relaxation because, one, it encourages concentration inward on the kinesthetic system, and two, relaxation is really therapeutic in its own right. Now, the weakness of traditional progressive relaxation methods is that that method tends to concentrate on one system only, the kinesthetic, largely ignoring visual, auditory, olfactory, etc. Another weakness is that those progressive relaxation methods make little or no use of the powers of imagination and imagery, and also they tend to be used automatically, without adaptation to the individual client and without any attempt to create any mind set towards a particular task being undertaken. For example, regression, habit breaking, etc. However, we're in the business of choices, so it's good to have the choice of using it. Now always speak slowly, distinctly, and do get into the habit of looking at the subject, and use silences. Right. I want you to sit comfortably and look straight in front of you. Let your eyes roll upwards without moving your head to look at a spot on the ceiling, a real spot or an imaginary spot. And as you look at the spot, don't let your eyes wander from it for one moment. Start counting backwards to yourself, not out loud, from 300. And as soon as you reach 290, let your eyes close. Let them feel heavy and relaxed. And now that your eyes are closed, repeat the sound of the word calm in your head, not out loud. And say that word calm with every breath that you breathe out. Don't bother to give it any meaning. Just repeat it as a sound in your head, just like the sound of a distant bell. And as you repeat the sound of the word calm ever so gently with every breath that you breathe out, so your mind and your body is becoming calm. And a time may come when you find the sound of the word calm is fading out of your mind as you listen to me. And as soon as you notice this, bring the sound of calm back gently and keep repeating it. But a time can come when you will feel so calm that you won't have the mental energy to bring it back. And when this time comes, just let the sound of calm fade away. And then go into the deepest and most relaxed state you have ever been in. And now, let that feeling of relaxation spread upwards over your forehead and over the top of your head, and down, down into the muscles at the back of your neck. And let that happen now. And each time you hear me use the word now, just like that, let every bit of relaxation you produce become more and more complete. And now, let that relaxation spread over your face, over your cheeks and lips and mouth, over your chin and down into the muscles in the front of your neck. And now, let that feeling of relaxation spread into your back. Let your back muscles relax. Let them go limp and slack and heavy. Let it happen now. And now, let that feeling of relaxation spread downwards into your chest. Let your chest muscles relax. And feel your breathing getting easier and easier. And let it happen now. And now, let that feeling of relaxation spread downwards into your shoulders. Let your shoulder muscles relax. Let them go limp and heavy and slack. And let that feeling of relaxation spread downwards into your arms and further down into your forearm and into the muscles of your wrists and your hands and even into the tiny muscles of your fingers. Let all those muscles relax. Let it happen now. And let that feeling of relaxation spread down into the muscles of your abdomen. Let all those muscles, those tummy muscles, relax. And let it happen now. And now, let that feeling of relaxation spread downwards even more into your thighs. Let your thigh muscles relax. Now. And now. Further down. Into your knees and into your lower legs and into the ankles and into the feet and even into the tiny muscles of your toes. Let all those muscles relax. Let it happen now. And now. Rest quietly for just a few moments and really get the benefit of being really and truly relaxed. In a few moments you'll hear my voice again. And when you hear my voice, I will ask you to open your eyes and feel alert and well. But rest calmly just for a few moments and really get the benefit of being completely relaxed. All right. You know my voice. Let yourself be totally aware of where you are. Feel your body quite buoyant, full of energy and full of life. Let your mind be quite crystal clear and in your own good time. Let your eyes open and feel very fit and very well. Have a special voice for hypnosis, for the trance state. Have this special voice, and the person after the first time will respond to it quite well. And the more often you see the person and he or she hears your special hypnotic voice, then the response is much more immediate and much deeper. Cultivate a special voice, preferably a little lower than what you normally talk, and not the way you normally speak, a little lower. The purpose of this side of this particular tape is for you to really analyze, to work out what is the meaning. Why talk like that? Learn to talk. Learn to talk easily and effortlessly and effectively. But remember that if you're talking about relaxation, your voice should be quite slow and deep. But if you're talking of stimulating things, then how should your voice be? Should be much more animated, shouldn't it? All right. Hypnotic induction using visualization. Now remember that there are quite a number of people that cannot visualize. When they close their eyes, they sometimes see blackness shot through with the odd line or shape or color. Also, a lot of people who say, yes, I can visualize, their visualizations are very unclear, not very distinct at all. However, hypnotic induction, visualization. I'd like you to close your eyes and be aware of my voice. Let yourself be very comfortable and relaxed. Think of nothing but the sound of my voice. Think of nothing. Just allow things to happen, allowing your body to become relaxed and comfortable. Letting all the muscles from the top of your head down to the tips of your toes, tips of your fingers, be relaxed. Just let it happen. Let everything be relaxed and comfortable, the muscles of your head and face. Let them be warm and relaxed and comfortable. Let it happen. And the muscles of your neck and your shoulders, and your arms and wrists and hands, and even your fingers, let them relax. Let it happen. And the whole of your back right down to the base of your spine, let it relax. Let it happen. And your chest, as you breathe comfortably, let all the muscles relax that are not needed for the breathing. Let them relax. And the abdomen, and the pelvic area, and the hips. Let them be very relaxed. Let it happen. And the thighs, and the legs, and the ankles, and the feet, let them all be very relaxed. Let it happen. And as I talk, feel more and more relaxed, more and more comfortable, aware only of the sound of my voice, and letting yourself sink deeper and deeper, and still deeper, deeper than any time before, aware of the sound of my voice, and the pictures that may come into your inner awareness. And the pictures that do come are the pictures from your own inner awareness, from your own memory. And you can relax and remember what is spoken of by me. You will remember and not doubt at all that it really did happen to you, although you may have forgotten about it a long time ago. Remember and accept without doubt that it is true that when you were very small, when you were very young, in a bed you are about to remember, there was a dream you used to have over and over. And you may need to be reminded of some of the details of that dream you used to have. And then you will really know that you really did have that dream. And it was so important for you that you had that dream very often. At night, when you were asleep, when you were very young and very small, that same dream, recurring again and again, so that you were not sure it was a dream, although you were sure it wasn't your ordinary waking. It was more like going into another world because it was so different from your other dreams. Usual dream, and it had a special kind of reality about it, as you will remember more and more clearly. And it begins always in the same way. And in the dream you believe you were awake. And in dreaming you were awake, you would get out of your bed and walk across the room to a wardrobe. And you opened the door of the wardrobe and you found, to your surprise, there was another door at the back of the wardrobe. A door you couldn't find when you looked for it, when you were really awake and not dreaming. You did sometimes look for that door and look, but never finding it. On those waking times you could never find that door. But now in the dream the door is there. And when that door opens so that you can pass through, and when you do, you find yourself standing at the top of a very old staircase, leading down and around. A very old ancient staircase winding down and around. And in the dim light, you begin going down the staircase, not at all afraid, quite safe, quite secure, eager to go down, deeper and deeper, descending down through the dream, going always deeper as you go round and round, down and around, one step at a time, very slowly, round and around, until finally you reach the bottom, the very bottom. And there is another door, a large wooden door, and it opens easily. And there is sunshine, warm sunshine and blue skies. There is a path leading across green fields to a church in the far distance. And you walk along that path, aware of the sound of birds and the humming of a bee, the gentle breeze caressing your face and the yellow of buttercups. You have a feeling of peace and contentment, and you walk along that path, getting nearer to the church. And you realize how pleasant it will be to sit down near that church on the soft grass and be aware of the peace and quiet of the surroundings when you do sit down. And you lose yourself in drowsy contentment. No pressures, no demands. The everyday world seems far away and not important. And for this little while, time has a different meaning. Rest and enjoy until you hear my voice again. You hear my voice. My voice. And you know the dream has ended. Do you feel quite rested? Surprisingly rested. And you can carry that feeling of calmness and contentment into each and every day. And you can return to that dream any time you so desire, every time you need. To have again that feeling of calmness and contentment and peace. But now, let your body be quite buoyant and full of energy, full of life. And let your mind be very crystal clear. And let your eyes open. Feel quite fit, surprisingly well.